Hey guys, Banana Luck here. Welcome back to another Watch Your Realms video. So after posting the Wukong Chi strategy that we had last night, I think a lot of you were asking for the full run of the entire both the Spellsbane and Bulwark phases. So this video is just going to be about that. But before we dive into the actual runs and also the gear towards the end, I want to talk about the skill reworks. So if you've watched the Wukong video, you have seen that Matrix is a lot more forgiving now. It's much easier to get through the initial phases, and that's because of how the boss actually scales. I think the way that they've done it is in such a way that the earlier waves are a lot easier to clear compared to the later waves because of how the scaling works, where every mob you kill, you basically give the boss and the mobs he spawns 1% extra attack and max HP. So it does get to a point where every pulse that he does, it's gonna do quite a bit of damage. So towards the end, if you don't have any damage reduction, it could one-shot you pretty easily. But with that being said, it's a lot more forgiving in the sense that that doesn't happen until the much later phases. And by the time that it happens, you typically have run out of time as well. So you'll use up the full 7 minutes for the entire run, and that will just result in a lower score for you overall because the more stacks you build up and you're unable to clear those, you will just do much lesser damage. And the only way to actually negate this effect is from the Pact of Silence mode. So this was to replace Chain Fission, and every mob you kill in this countdown phase weakens the energy level and reduces this burst that the Pact of Silence does. So you go through Decay Overflow, which is the previous known Slam, Focus Strike, Decay Overflow, Focus Strike again, and then you go into Pact of Silence. It is a fixed interval, it doesn't change. So throughout the entire Zerberus run, you're not going to get any repeats. If you don't clear in time during the Decay Overflow or Focus Strike, it doesn't really affect you in any way. So in that sense, it's much easier because the boss doesn't level up no matter what you do to it during the previous phase. And the mobs no longer do any attacks, it seems. Just that they do damage to the boss when they die. And then, yeah, they give that one stack. So that's pretty much it. The other change would have to be the chest. It is a lot better now. The max chest is at 250k. Whether we can even get to this, I'm not too sure, but what's accessible now is the first chest that gives the Chameleon Gem. So if we look at Reward 6, this is where we get Variant Gems, but Reward 7 is where we start to get the Transmutation Gems, as well as an upgrade in the Obsidian Keystones from level 3 to level 5, because in the previous one, it's just up to level 4. So it's all around a good improvement, and you can see even at level 6, you actually get a chance to get the Chameleon Gems when you defeat the boss. And it's not that hard to defeat the boss nowadays. You can see here 130k actually nets you about 8.68% of a score. So with all the changes throughout the lower tier chests as well, people will be more incentivized to push for, say, 70k, even if they can't hit 100k. And I think with that being said, if you have 30 players, you need to hit 3.33% each, right? So it's just 50,000 score each for everyone to actually take down the boss. So yeah, it's good reworks all around, but it is much tougher to actually break through the higher scores. You'll see that during the runs because when the boss gets to a high enough amount of stacks, it is very hard to take down the mobs that he spawns. So you got to be very strategic in the way that you clear out the mobs, especially during the Pact of Silence phase. So yeah, without further ado, let's actually get into the run. Show you guys the tips and tricks to get it going, and then towards the end of the video, we'll show gear as well. Enjoy. Alright, so now we'll go into the Bulwark form first. That's the more finicky team to go with. So the reason why that's the case is because the units here do quite a bit of damage. So the stacks on Zerberus can build up pretty quickly, and it is pretty hard to, actually burn through the units towards the end. If you build up like 300 to 400 stacks, you will end up having to need very high awakenings to actually break through those barriers. So we're going to explain the timings and how to prevent that and still be able to maximize our score, because if you auto everything, right now at least with my set of units, I can only get about 60 to 70k, but if let's say we manual it, we can get to close to 80k in fact. So yeah, let's get in and show you guys the placement, which is gonna be very weird first of all. Alright, so I'm trying to maximize Magda's penetration buff to be provided to every single unit, and as a result, we have a bit of a funky placement, but I think it works out pretty well. So Azeroth over there, the reason why the new placement works out is because we no longer actually have to have the units attacking all parts of the wave, because the units will respawn no matter what, and they do so instantly. Now, Valara right over here, Percy to buff with Invigoration, and then last but not least, we're going to put Ingrid. So these are the 3 units that we have quartz on as well, just to maximize their damage. And Eloin facing there, Beatrix on the opposite side of Burlis, and then Magda over here, and as a result, he is gonna actually, she's actually gonna buff most of the units here except for Ingrid. Then Wukong at the bottom there, and then we'll just let the ultimates rip automatically. First few waves is fine, you can just let the ultimates go off normally. You can see the stacks building up pretty quickly. You don't want to get above 400 stacks basically, because at that point in time, the AoE wipes are just going to kill everyone regardless of how much HP you've built. So about halfway through the Pack of Silence, we're going to on the ultimates and try to clear as many of these units as possible. You can see we got it down to about 90, and after that has ended, we start increasing these stacks again. We're just going to pause there. Let the mobs just do damage normally. Heal through this decay flow, and one more focus strike before we enter the next phase of damage.
Do you trust me? Stay close.
Just turn it back on again. Yeah, now the stacks are about 140, which is okay. Not too difficult. Just need to keep that as low as possible. Let's swap Azeroth as well here. Okay, once we have the focus strike out, we're gonna start casting the ultimates here. Go. Okay, now that's done, we'll switch off the auto ultimate again. Switch Azeroth back here to give rage back to all the summoners. And then we'll do that again. After the next focus strike, that's when we're going to switch up the ultimates again. There we go. Yeah, this should give us ultimate throughout the entire phase. You can see halfway through the run, we are at 200 stacks, and this is where things start to get rather difficult. Okay, with the focus strike done, we're going to turn on the ultimates again. And yeah, just set us up for this next bit here. My Dieltran ultimate is on, unfortunately, so I have to switch it off. It's going to reduce our damage quite a bit, actually. Alright, now the ultimates are going to come in actually right about at time the Pack of Silence. So that's good. And we're still below 300 stacks, so that's good news. You see right side is clearing a lot slower than what we did before. And yeah, after this focus strike, that's when we go into another Pact of Silence. Have the ultimates for all the rest of the units up as well. There we go. I'm not sure if we can survive this one. Okay, we still do. But the next one, we're gonna have to actually, I think, switch Diao-Chan. Or maybe not. I think we can survive through Decay Overflow with the Fuzzy ultimate. Okay. But the next one, we definitely have to switch Diao-Chan over because we're close to 400 stacks now. Now we get another Pact of Silence. So we're gonna get all these ultimates going. Yeah, at this point, the stacks are just way too high for us to do anything. Okay, still managed to survive that. And there we go, 80k score. So that is very good. Because with that in mind, we can actually, you know, use the physical phase and just have to do 50k and we should be able to clear this out. So yeah, let's go ahead to save the score. I think I have gear on the other side of setup. So that's done. And we just take a look at damage charts here. Yeah, obviously these guys will be at the top. And then Velara, followed by Verlis as well as Beatrix on the side here. Then Magda, so on and so forth. So Wukong makes it less finicky in my opinion because you don't really have to worry about the talent, the Cornelian Ops proccing or, you know, Azeroth not having any Dark Spores. And in this position, we also managed to get Eloin heals on everyone, which is pretty important to make sure that she's constantly dispelling. Especially if you don't have her A3, the dispel is only upon her ultimate, then this placement position should help you out quite a bit. So yeah, now with the this phase done, let's actually move on to the physical phase and show you guys how that's done. Alright, so now we're back with the physical phase. This one is pretty surprising because we have an epic unit here, Astrid, which did really well in the runs that I've tested out so far. All because she has defense down in her kit, and there's really not much other Northerner units that can do that well. Obviously, if you have Kigiri and all that, it will perform a lot better, but my Talon is A1. I would prefer to have her at A3, but this is the team that I found to work best, and we're using Esrin once again, but I find that the focus strike in this new map is not as punishing, because if Esrin does die, you still have the rest of the units alive, and that normally happens towards the last part of the spells being formed. So in the magic phase, you'll notice that we hit almost 400 stacks. In Spells Bane, it's going to be a lot lower, probably in the ballpark of about 300 to 350. But even then, it's still important to keep stacks low as much as you can. So yeah, let's head in, show you guys the placements, and then you can see what we do to keep these scores high. Alright, first unit we're going to put down is going to be Nurja. We want him to have as high attack as possible, so we're going to buff him with Nerissa. The next unit is going to be Ardea, Rivenhall, and then let's do Arlen next over here. We're going to buff her as well. Lady Mina. And then last but not least, Astrid. And then Astrid just at the end here. And we're just going to switch off Nerissa's ultimate. Okay, great. And the rest of the stuff we can just set on auto. Similar to what we did with the magic phase. For the first phase, we can just let the ultimates do their job. Don't really need to time everything for now. And the next Decay Overflow, we're going to just dispel that off. And now we just wait for the next batch of ultimates before we do anything. So turn that on. Get some damage going. Nurture's animation is a bit slow. But you can see here, score is a lot lower than what we've got on the other map. With the fact that Our talent is lower awakening, but that's fine. Now another decay overflow. After that, we'll purge and dispel again. And now we'll just wait for the focus strike to end here. And then we'll cast the ultimates there. See here, the ultimate ends right about then. Now switch it off again and wait for the second decay flow before we do the ultimates again here. Focus strike. Turn on the ultimates. Go. Still keeping the stacks pretty low. Quite healthy, so that's good. Lady Mina's ultimate again. Spell. And then now we do the ultimates. Go. See Lady Mina hitting for 1.9 million each time. It's crazy amounts of damage. The auto, and then we'll do Lady Mina's ultimate again, spell, and once the focus strike ends, then turn on the ultimates, and that should give us some extra damage here again. You can see his stacks are still very low, very healthy, so yeah, a lot more manageable, but it is going to result in a lower score overall. We end the entire run because we're just not killing as many mobs as we wish to. Turn on the ultimates. Get the next pack of silence out of the way. From here on, we can actually keep the ultimates on for the most bits, because we're not going to get that much stack increase from here anyways. Decay overflow. Making sure that my layer covered everyone. There we go. 50k now. Should be able to push to about 55. All goes well. Spell, and I'm gonna go into another pack of silence soon. Go. Alright, last 5 seconds. Not gonna get much here because these stacks are building up quite a bit. And there we go, 56k. So that's gonna bring us to a total of 136. Still quite a far bit from 160k, but 130 is where we start to get chameleon gems anyway. So this is a good start, at least for now. I'm just gonna save that score. And yeah, there we go. So the new matrix is definitely easier when it comes to getting the lower scores. In terms of the mechanics, I don't think it's that complex. If we just do that rotation of turning on the ultimates every time we're about to go into the pack of silence, it is pretty easy to manage. And you can see Astrid doing a lot of damage here, along with the defense down that she provides as well. So yeah, I am still going to showcase gear. So let's get on with that. But this is the final team, 136k. And this did 9% of the damage, so I think we're pretty on track to actually clear Matrix from now onwards, thanks to the reworks that they are doing here. Alright, so with both runs complete now, we'll just have a look at gear. So I'm doing this before we actually save any of the actual runs, so it's just easier to not miss out on anything. So the way I've done this is I have 5 quad weapons, or rather 5 quad Wicked Vengeance weapons or chess pieces. I split them 3 in the Bulwark form and 2 in the Spellsbane form. And for Spellsbane, we're putting it on Nurture and Adea, and then on Bulwark, we're putting it on Azeroth, Verlis as well as Velara. And then let's just take a look at gear. So because I'm using Wukong tank here, not Cornelian, we can actually do away with any HP subs and just go ahead to build your Azeroth as how you normally build him. And then we also have the Curse Cult Ring here, just to give him more boost and damage. And then the Eye of Sin, which is the best artifact that you have on him. Although I have to say that the new fighter artifact looks pretty decent as well, because you just straight up get 30% AoE damage, irregardless of how much whether you've killed any units in the past. And then the next unit is going to be Verlis. This one is the other unit holding my quad. Sova Arcana, but if you can squeeze Cataclysm on her, that would be great. But otherwise, this works just as well. And then we have the Tear of Twilight. This is the best one I have with 15% crit damage. And the next one's going to be Magda. Just Sova Arcana. And then Eye of Sin as well. Don't need to focus on her build too much. She's there more to actually give the penetration increase and damage increase. Then Beatrix, all around good summoner unit. So we have her on Sova Arcana, and as well as attack speed on both the weapon as well as the chest. It's lacking crit damage to be a true quad, but this is good enough for me. And then we also have the Tear of Twilight on her. Velara is on the third set of quads that I have here. Make sure you have her in the Esotericis ring, especially if you're running off faction like me. And then we also have the exclusive artifact, which is her best in slot gear. Now, next we have Ingrid. Infernal Roar as well. Ideally, I would have wanted to put my quads on her, but this is what we've decided to do. We do have slightly higher attack speed on her, and then a Tear of Twilight at the end as well. Diao-chan, your standard inspiration set, and then also the Phoenix Feather Fan. And then Wukong, just build him out in as much HP as possible. He's gonna have the highest HP no matter what, thanks to the high base HP he has. Some attack speed will be nice as well to make sure he keeps spawning a steady amount of clones. And then we have the Golden Cudgel artifact, obviously. And then now we have Elowen. In a build with quite a bit of rage regen, just to make sure that she can cycle enough ultimates to actually cleanse off the stacks. We also have her in Golden Scarab. You don't really need heals as much, I find, in the new Matrix, so you can pick the builds accordingly, but for me, high rage regen worked out really well. And last but not least, firstly, we're not using Nerissa here because we don't have Tallulah for cleanse on the physical side. Yeah, this is the gear. Just make sure you have sufficient HP so that he doesn't start dying when you hit 400 stacks towards the end. And then the Euphoric Orb just to boost the entire team. Alright, now we move on to the physical team. Leia, Rage Regen build as well. And then the exclusive artifact. If you have her A3, that'll be even better. I don't, so the ultimate uptime is not as great on her. And then Erlis, I have her in a bit of a weird build because I ran out of gear. You can see that we're trying to push for as much HP as possible while retaining attack. And then we also have Tearspam artifact just to maximize her heals. Nurture in my Esotericis quad set as well, just to make sure that he can dish out as much ultimates and damage as possible. And then the Fire Tip Spear, which is his best in slot artifact. And we have Talon, Infernal Roar, and nothing too fancy here, a bit of extra attack speed. And then we also have the Black Bug Powdron. If you have it, you can also consider using the new Marksman artifact right over here. Where was it? Yeah, Hands of Doom. I think this is pretty decent because it gives her straight up 10% penetration, which I think will be much better than the attack increase here. Now, next one we have is going to be Ezreal. The build on him is very important. Need to make sure that you hit this HP threshold to prevent him from being targeted by Focus Strike, because with Rivenhall, some of the ground-based units can get pretty high HP. And then we also have the Weaver's Hood artifact, just to give him as much survivability as possible. And Rivenhall, your inspiration set. with the Dwarven Strider. This is the best artifact we can have on him as a tactician. And gear-wise, it's just standard Invigoration, as much attack as you can possibly give him. And Ardea is on the second quad set that we have alongside with Soulbound Arcana, and then the Shattered Hilt to give her as much damage as possible, irregardless of where the units are standing. And then we have Lady Mina. Same thing, we have her on a attack speed set, just missing crit damage, but this is doing well for me. And then with the rework, her exclusive is definitely her best in slot. And yeah, we have her A0. If you have her A1, definitely use her because I think she's pretty good with the new rework. Now, Astrid, this one was pretty surprising. So we have her on a quad set as well. The main reason why she's working so well is the defense reduction that she offers. And then for artifact, just make sure you have Talisman or Resolve. Otherwise, you could use something like the Eye of Sin as well. I think that works just as well. But lots of options for you in case you don't have Talisman or Resolve. And then Nerissa, last but not least, she's here to provide cleanse. We have her in quite a bit of HP to make sure she survives as well. And then the Golden Scarab to give her a bit of an attack boost because she does provide inspiration to one unit. So yeah, pretty lengthy gear showcase. Just pause at any point of the video if you want to have a closer look at what stats we're going for. But yeah, if you have any questions, leave it down in the comment section below. More than happy to answer them, and I hope this was helpful. If it was, leave a like or subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.